The first question today is, does Composite get hot?
Wade, would you like to roll with that one? Or
Yes.
What? Yep. Next question.
Yeah. Like,
I could have answered that one with the button.
the problem is everybody knows it gets hot. They just want you to answer that differently.
Yeah, they do.
They come in here and they're like, so my friend has a deck and he says it gets really hot. So it's like, does it get really hot?
Yeah, gets hot.
Like,
The context behind this is like, yes, it gets hot because things that sit under hot sun get hot. That includes you,
Yeah, exactly.
your pets, sidewalks, beach sand, roadways, car dashboards. Like if it's baking in the sun and it's really hot out, it's going to be hot. There's no like ice until it goes away is the only thing that stays cold in the sun. And you've got very limited amount of time before that changes.
that's like beer.
Then it's not ice.
That's like beer in my hand,
Right?
It has a very limited amount of time.
You just drink it all, and then it's an empty can.
It's pretty funny.
So we've done a lot of testing over the years because we're always curious too. And the reason behind that usually is because there are products out there that claim to be not as hot. Moisture Shield claims to have Cool Deck technology that keeps it not as hot. Clubhouse used to have Cool Pigment technology, which claimed it didn't get as hot. What was the other one I was just trying to think of?
Trek just has a new one.
AZEK claims it's 15% less hot. Trex's new boards they just came out with in the Northeast US, not available here, claim less hot.
Common comparison between all of the Cool Deck things is that they're all white colors, like light.
Right. And so here's why we started doing our own testing, because you can't believe marketing buzzwords sometimes, often. And so we got personally burned by this. Appreciate the pun there, boys. But
You're going to have to work a little harder for me.
when we
you didn't laugh at my jokes earlier off camera.
Yeah, you're stone inside.
He's got a baby that laughs at everything he says now. So
Right. Well, not that
That's
one.
not, that's not true. He just
2-year-old probably
2-year-old
does.
would, though.
Yeah.
he just stares into nothingness, sleeps 95% of the time, and stares at nothing.
Yeah. It's a textured ceiling, bud.
This won't be the first one, you'll see. The reason we kind of got into wanting to test it ourselves was because back when we opened the store, we had a few brands that we brought in, Clubhouse being one of them, which we had discovered this down at one of the shows and thought, this is a really great product. This is like great traction, great scratch resistance,
Super durable.
cool pigment technology, says it stays cooler. This is awesome. Brought it in, told people, yeah, it's got cool pigment technology, so it doesn't get as hot as the other stuff. Installed it, hot. It was hot.
it's hot.
AF.
Like, it was absolutely not any less hot than other brands. And so we're like, what the hell? Like, what the hell is this cool pigment thing?
You lied to me.
And then we wanted to qualify that with numbers. So we started doing our own testing. We took all the brands out and we'd shoot them with send them in the sun, shoot them with the
Heat gun?
heat gun and
Laser
record temperatures
temperature?
ourselves and found out that, yeah, it isn't any less hot. How do they claim that? And it's like, well, I guess they could claim that if their previous boards without cool pigment technology were hotter, but that's like a relative thing, and that's not what people think when they hear cool pigment. So we're like, you know what, enough. So then Moisture Shield came
So
out
we
with
stopped telling people that.
right.
We're like, they all get hot.
Yeah, that gets hot.
Yeah.
Moisture Shield came out with Cool Deck technology. I remember the first time seeing it. It was under a heat lamp at a trade show down in the States again. They had like AZEK and Trex and Moisture Shield with Cool Deck under a heat lamp. I felt them and was like, oh my goodness, yeah, it's
Significantly cooler.
way less hot on my hand when I touch on this heat lamp. That's really awesome because that's a known issue. We went and tested them again the next time we did tests, and like they weren't really any less hot.
But we used a
in the
different
sun.
we used a different heat source.
Right, the sun.
The one that your deck will be under.
Right.
Mhm.
Not the heat lamp that they use in a trade show.
Yep.
Which I don't know, but something about that ambient heat seems to me, it seemed to perform differently under sunlight versus radiant heat lamp.
Mm-hmm.
So now the colors of them the lightest one did score really well in our test.
Yes,
it
it
was
did.
one of the coolest ones, if not
Yes.
the coolest or tied for the coolest.
It
But
was the coolest.
I think it's 95% because the color of the board was really light because it was comparable to other boards that were light in color that didn't have Cool Deck technology.
Yeah.
Like Fibron Cottage, light gray, was also down around that temperature. And it's like, well, that one's,
It's just gray.
it's just light gray. This one's like a light taupey color, yellowy color.
Yep.
Like, of course it's going to be less hot.
But
So,
the most important part of all of this is that the temperature of the board was still too hot to walk on with your bare feet.
Yep.
It was just cooler than the other ones relative. So these ones were so hot your feet blistered in in 5 seconds and your feet blistered in 3 seconds on this one. Like, it's
Exactly.
still screaming hot.
Yeah, it's still super hot.
And the only other one that was down there was the TimberTech whitewash cedar, which is white. So again, not a shocker that the whiteboard was less hot than the other ones. So yes, what we just discovered, and we've since done that test a few times now. Like,
And we're doing it again this year.
we're doing it again this
Are
year.
we?
And so
Wow.
We got new camera gear.
Kyler and I are.
We got new camera gear. Let's do that.
I do believe that the Moisture Shield Cool Deck makes a little bit of a difference, but their claim is I think it's 35% cooler, I think is what they say, than other comparable colors, whatever. I
We didn't find
not
quite
personally
that,
seen that.
but
So,
we
Not-
found about
not in our heat
15,
gun.
15%
and the
cooler.
darker color of Cool Deck Moisture Shield was in the middle of all the other ones that
Yeah,
were
it was
also a little
still
bit
hot.
darker. Like to us, there wasn't a noticeable difference.
It was no dark slate. That was
Yes. So what we say is
Yeah.
if you're that concerned about the heat on the deck board, choose a lighter color. That's the only thing you can really do but understand that when it's 35 or 40 degrees above 120 Fahrenheit,
She hot.
they're all going to be hot.
Yep.
Right. So,
It's all hot.
and the other thing too is we tested wood at these same times, hardwoods, softwoods, treated cedar, all this different stuff. Wood also gets hot.
wood gets hot.
Yes, it was at the bottom where the lowest composites were as well. But if it's 40 above again, a wood deck is also hot. And if you
Mhm.
oil it or paint it, hotter.
It's gonna get hotter.
So put flip-flops on. If it's really hot out, put flip-flops on.
Yeah.
Heat dissipation, another thing. PVCs will dissipate heat much faster
Way
than
faster.
composites.
Whole new ball game.
Shadow rolls in, cloud rolls in, water goes on the deck.
You can
Those
walk
cool
on it.
off right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Composites, they're dense, they hold heat, they radiate heat longer.
Mm.
But